Beck program. Well, I told you on this program before that there would come a time when people would just come out in the open. Yeah, we're socialists. Yeah, we're Marxists. And they are out in the open now, and they're changing the world. I'm going to show you more of this tomorrow. You don't want to miss tomorrow's program. But since we're talking about people that want to change the world, I want to show you the people that are changing the next generation. Look at teachers, and what they want to bring into the classroom. Watch.
We have to be involved in struggles for economic justice and to change the economic priorities of this system and to change the economic system as a whole. Because so many of us teachers spend so much time in frustration, we get into the classrooms to empower our students. And within the context in which we're teaching, it's nearly an impossible task.
You should see, this teacher goes on here. We'll expose more tomorrow. This teacher goes on to say, quote, "We have to promote the ideas of Marxism at the high school level or the elementary school level, but you have to be careful." That's tomorrow night. Abraham Lincoln said what is taught in the classrooms in one generation will be the policy of the government the next generation. Tonight, we're going to show you not only what the radicals, the street radicals are doing and what is coming, but I really want to focus on what this lady had on her t-shirt. It said, "Tax the rich." We're talking about the wrong rich. We really are. The wrong rich. There are those that are rich that are getting away with murder. We'll talk about that tonight. Well, hello, America. Yes. Tonight, I want to talk to you about two concepts. Everything is fine. Be prepared. Really, two camps in America. One of these two. Which are you? It wasn't controversial at all until recently to say be prepared. But if you say them today, you say those two words today, you're going to be labeled all kinds of crazy things. I want you tonight to look at the things around you, the things that provide you with the basic necessities of life. I want to talk about your food. I want you to talk about your money, even clothing, your house, the energy that keeps you warm, the gasoline in the car that you drive, the loan on the car that you have. Would you say that those things are stable? You know that this is, right now, how much is this box of Cheerios? It is in New York, so it doesn't say. It's probably about $47 in New York. Is it stable? They've all come under attack, and we have shown you how. We'll show you more tonight. But what is the consistent response from the media and all of the politicians? Is it, hey, we should be prepared because things are, well, they could get worse and you should just be prepared? Or is it that everything is fine? They'll talk about the big picture, but not include you. Kind of like September 11th. You weren't included. You were told, go shopping. Everything's fine. We got it covered. You go shopping. Live your life. I think that's wrong. The Boy Scout motto was be prepared, wasn't it? The founder of the Scouts was once asked, be prepared for what? His answer, why, any old thing. He said he didn't want people just to be prepared for emergencies, but for life in general, so they could help others. Be prepared. Now, let's say that the Fed and the politicians and George Soros are right, and QE 38 starts causing money to shoot out of your pants. Just shooting right from the seat. Just money shoots out your pants. All across America. You're looking at your neighbor, you're like, money shooting out of your pants too. Well, then we'll all feel pretty stupid being prepared, won't we? No, not unless you're a Boy Scout. You won't if you're a Boy Scout. But you will if money is shooting out of everybody's pants. But if that doesn't happen, and there is a problem and everything's not fine, well then, what does that make you? Dependent. Dependent. Before you let your pride or your neighbor's pride speak and say, I'm independent, are you? Am I? The Declaration of Independence is what they wrote, the founders put together. The Declaration of Independence. Well, they couldn't have had independence if they needed the king to give them jobs, the king to tell them how to do business, the king to do everything. They would have had to declare the Declaration of Dependence, and that is what we have done over the many years since that document was written. And I think it's easy to underestimate how easy our lives are. Our lives, you may be working 3 jobs right now. But in America, we still have it pretty sweet because we've been stable. How quickly that stability can be taken away from it. It's a lesson that we learned on 9/11, but it seems fewer and fewer remember it every day. The World Bank just said that the world is one shock away from global crisis. Don't pay attention to the man behind me because I think that looks like something that Saturday Night Live would do. That's really what he looks like, and that's what he said. The IMF just told France that the United States, quote, has no viable plan to reduce our debt. Does that concern you? Does that sound like everything is fine, or be prepared? Because I don't know of some sort of, do we have like a global crisis get out of jail free card? I'm not aware that we do. If somebody let me know. Our president and every person who feels responsible in life should be championing the cause of Americans preparing. And I would stand behind him 100%. But he and virtually everyone else is telling you, we got it. We got it. It's getting better. And it's the hate mongers over here that are causing trouble. The hate mongers on either side aren't causing this trouble. This trouble's been coming for a long time. So instead of America being prepared for anything, our collective pants are down around our ankles right now. People are everywhere. I don't mean to be crass, but if you ever sitting on the john and you're like in a public stall and somebody opens up the stall and you're like, hey, that's the way we're all going to be feeling soon. We're all going to be, hey, who's in here? People, your friends are going to be sitting, sorry about that one, Oscar, sitting at home without a clue as to what hit them. I don't know how they can't see it coming. Maybe it's just that people are choosing to ignore the skyrocketing gas prices. You see this sign? And this is, look at that, $5.19, $4.99 for regular. That's in Washington, D.C. I mean, how do you not know? What do you... How are your friends not saying, hey, we got problems? And by the way, are the politicians buying their own gas in D.C.? No. No, they actually have a gas pump that is underneath the Capitol building. They got a pump for them. It's bing, 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 bing. Fat cats. Do you see the story today? It's been happening for the last couple of days. Jobs. Now, jobs, we're celebrating the fact that McDonald's is hiring. God bless McDonald's. At least somebody is. And there is no shame making an honest living at McDonald's. McDonald's has profound opportunity for anybody who wants to work hard. But I'm sorry, McDonald's isn't exactly the savior of the economy. Is this what's going to pull us out? Hamburgers? Especially, that's not the road to prosperity when the First Lady is trying to make sure nobody eats at McDonald's, is it? Then you have the state office in Florida. They thought they would create an uplifting, kind of humorous campaign to cheer up the thousands and thousands of unemployed people seeking help finding a job. Oh, well, this agency didn't give them a job, but they did give them a cape. I'm not kidding. Capes. Because they wanted people to know that they have capability to get a job and vanquish Dr. Evil unemployment, a cartoon character that they spent your tax dollars on creating for this campaign. 6,000 capes were purchased for the low, low price of your money, $14,000. Well, what would you do with $14,000? Like you wouldn't waste it. In the understatement of the century, State Director Cynthia Lorenzo said the spending appeared to be insensitive and wasteful. Cynthia, appeared to be? Let me tell you something. Every single one of those employees should be fired. The whole section should be shut down. If I'm unemployed and you come ding dong, hey, Mr. Beck, you're unemployed, and you hand me a cape and tell me who's capable, I punch you in the face. It doesn't. Well, that part might cheer me up. The cape definitely doesn't. The state is now looking into the whole campaign. Quote, the campaign was met with derision by many unemployed. No. Who question spending more than $14,200 on capes and $2,300 on foam cutouts of Dr. Evil unemployment. You want to talk about unessential employees, it's these people that were working, coming up with this. Fire them all. So, I had a hard time getting around this one. The people were insulted with a cape and a cartoon saying, who's capable? Insulted. How? By the way, the extended benefits expired this month in North Carolina, Tennessee, and Wisconsin. The next states where the program will expire, Alaska, Alabama, Kansas, Arizona, Pennsylvania, and Washington, D.C. So is your job stable? Is your money stable? Is everything fine? Or should you maybe be prepared? I read a headline in the Washington Post today, or the Huffington Post, that was amazing. The financial system poses an even greater risk to taxpayers than before the crisis, according to analysts at Standard & Poor's. The next rescue could be about $1 trillion costlier, the credit rating agency warned.
And that's why I made passage of Wall Street reform one of my top priorities as president, so that a crisis like this does not happen again.
The message of this bill is clear. Banks, not the taxpayers, will pay for future bank failures, and consumers will be protected.
And it ensures that the cost of any future financial crisis will be borne by the financial industry, keeping taxpayers off the hook.
I signed into law a Wall Street reform bill that will protect consumers and our entire economy from the recklessness and irresponsibility that led to the worst recession in our lifetime.
Everything is fine. Go back to sleep. The recklessness of Wall Street, not Washington, Wall Street that made this happen, they just protected us. But again, may I go back to the Huffington Post? The potential for further extraordinary official assistance to large players in the U.S. financial sector poses a negative risk to the government's credit rating, S&P said in their report on Monday. Large players. Oh, like the ones we bailed out last time. And it hasn't been fixed because everything is not fine. S&P estimated the cost of the next, quote, crisis cleanup at 34% of the nation's annual economic output. The last one was a mere 26% of GDP. Stop worrying. That's only 60% of everything we make in a year going to the same group of people. Oh, don't worry. We'll just print it. That's it. And it'll never happen again.